And away we go. Of course, we all know the drill by now. Hold on. I'm gonna activate my timer for something. I'm not sure why that's needed. So here we are. Alright, so now I got my timer, for whatever reason, being set up. Let's get into how these episodes normally done. Look into stuff that me, Eric, or Risk has sent in our podcast group chats, whatever was in our pipelines on social media, whatever gets a reaction out of us, or keeps us drawn into the video in question somehow. And it works. It absolutely works with anyone. That's how social media is these days. So with that all being said, let's see what's been sent. So I've sent a Instagram reel a couple days ago, and it's something in regards to the very hot topic points in the UK right now. I don't have to say what they are. Even I don't. We all know what the hot topic is these days in the UK. About who comes in, who comes out, and whatever the culture is. So that's the general stuff. That's the general discussion and topic. Now, this Instagram reel, which I've just sent, and I will play in a few minutes, few seconds. The table has turned in a way, and yeah, I'll play the audio right now.
Booted out of Islamic class. Now you might think that I sound angry about that, and I was at first, but let me tell you the reason why. So in the UAE, clearly it's a Muslim country, so they learn about Islam. My children were taken out of Islamic class and put into another classroom while they studied it. So I was like, well, why is that? With my UK mindset, thinking that they were being excluded from something, when in actual fact, the school didn't want to offend me and my wife. Their children something we didn't like. So to compare that to the UK, where Islam is forced down your throat, here in a Muslim country, they actually didn't want to teach our children about it because they thought it would be rude. We obviously said no. This is a Muslim country. Our children's friends will be Muslim. The country is Muslim. They should learn about Islam. If they want to be Muslim, that's fine. If they don't, they don't. But they should at least learn about it. So yeah, crazy. What a great place this is.
You know what? I actually agree. It is down to the children if they want to learn something about another culture, history of something, doesn't matter what. In the UK, not to say that everyone's been forced to be learn something that's been chugged down our throats. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't allow foreigners into other countries. The issue is, in general, mass migration. Like, for loads of people coming into a country all at once. That's the problem. It's not about who's coming in, it's about how they are coming in. Whether it be through legal routes or by illegal means, either way, the rate of people coming into a country relative to that country's population is going to be a concern for some people, if not everyone. And in regards to that video I just played, it's nice that there are countries that give students, pupils, the choice to learn something if they want to, and if they don't want to, they don't have to. That is not to say that that isn't the case anywhere else. I just wouldn't know of it until a video like that has been made, saying, oh, this country gives you the option to learn this or adhere to that. And if you don't want to, that's okay. Go on with your life how you want to go on with your life. Now, if Risk or Eric were on here right now, to be honest, whilst I have a feeling about what the lads could have said in regards to that video, I'm not sure how Eric or Risk would comprehend that kind of information. How someone in a Muslim majority country allows pupils or students to be part of something if they want to, and if they don't want to, they don't have to. And then in countries where Muslims are a minority, No, you have. No, it is required that we have to teach you this stuff. If people don't want to learn it, then they don't have to learn it. So yeah, and this is not to say that everyone should go to the United Arab Emirates because they have better respect for what people learn and adhering to other cultures. Even if the UAE does have a handful amount of perks for living and how much money you get to save from whatever taxes you pay, there are also downsides to the UAE, whether it be labor laws, the expats that come over from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, or any of the Stan countries to work on labor or labor-intensive projects for a fraction of the pay that people that are native to UAE would have been paid. And also, I know a lot of people will say the UAE has low taxes or no taxes at all. I would certainly move there. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with that. I would have said the same thing as well. But again, labor laws, uh, expats coming over from other countries to work in these labor-intensive projects and the amount of pay they get. Yeah, I cannot deny that such problems like that exist in the UAE. Likewise, it would exist in other very, very rich Gulf countries where their GDP per capita is very, very high. It's one of the highest in the world. And it's not just low taxes, if any. It's also the fact that a huge number of crypto bros moving to the UAE because the taxes on such digital assets are literally nil, if not low. I don't know why I'm hearing so many crypto asset owners moving to the UAE. I remember on one of my podcasts, I had brought on a guy who was from the US. He moved to the UAE recently, as of the time I recorded that particular podcast episode, and he's living life to the fullest. And you know what? I respect him for that. So yeah, I don't. Now, of course, I know taxes are barely existing in the United Arab Emirates, and I know a lot of people would move to the UAE because, oh, I don't want to pay much taxes there. There's always a price to pay, even if it's not financially. You're paying the price on the grounds of morality. If you know about the laws in regards to labor for foreigners who come over to these Gulf countries to get high-paying jobs because, well, the jobs they have in their home countries doesn't pay as much as they want them to. And even if these expats do come over, from what I believe last time I recall, and I could be confusing UAE with Qatar, passports of these expats confiscated, not to be given back to the expats in question. The treatments of expats subpar, like the amenities, the accommodation. It's not just bare bone skin foundations. It is also dirty as well, as it is like bare bone aesthetics. Like there's nothing flashy or aesthetically pleasing to look at. It's just grim and washed down. That's just me. That's just me. So back to this guy from the UK talking about children in UAE schools. I will say that there are positives to living in the United Arab Emirates. And of course, there are downsides as well, which I know a lot of activists, if not all, would say that the treatment of workers in these countries are not great. There's no arguing with that. I will not argue with it whatsoever. Even if you're not paying much to be in a country like the UAE, there's still a price to pay, even if it's not financially. There's always a price to pay that you may not be aware of. And that's what people are not aware of, talking about. The next thing I've sent to the lads in our podcast group chat is a screenshot of an advert on YouTube. Yes, I don't know either. Firstly, the picture of this particular advert on YouTube, which I came across somehow, is a picture of a woman, which I would say she's kind of gorgeous, but nothing special in my opinion. The name of this woman that's been shown is Helena, her name Helena is shown up, and then beneath her name shows Peru. Now, what on earth is this advert even about? So, firstly, the title of this advert on YouTube reads "Date Without Age Boundaries." I'm not liking this already. Love knows no age bounds. Connect with young singles. Start dating online. And I responded directly to that screenshot saying, no thanks, hard pass. So yeah, what do you mean? A date with no age bounds? What do you mean love knows no age bounds? Okay, I know for sure if Eric was on here right now, he would be appalled. He would be disgusted. He'd be absolutely outraged. Or at least disgusted by such words and phrasing. You know what? I'm the same. I get it. We all want to be in love. We want to be in a relationship. Do it with someone that has experience in, making love. I'm not saying that you should to anyone. If you're gonna do it, at least do it with someone with enough experience. If at least, or better yet, more than enough experience. That's me. That's what I would have done. And I'm not even going to get into relationships with an adult and a person that is not an adult. That goes without saying that is a massive no-no, regardless of what the age of consent or legal age is in whatever country you're in. Just because it's legal does not mean you should do it. I know in Brazil, the country where my family's from, legal age of consent is 14. Now, even though I could date someone that is 15, that does not mean I would date someone that's 15. I would not do it. And if anyone is going to use that part of the episode and say, oh, I want to date minors, no, absolutely not. I am against it. I am against it. I cannot stress that enough. And I know there will be people somewhere that I know that will take that hint. They will know that I prefer mature women, or more than mature women. That does not mean people aren't going to take particularly words that I say out of context and make it out as it means something else. I know what I'm getting myself into about people making me out as something else, especially if I am preparing myself to be on the world stage. There's nothing that I have no knowledge or scenarios of thinking of any scenario that I don't know how to handle. Yeah, that's wild. That advert's about love knows no age bounds. That is the most wildest caption of any advert I've ever seen in my entire life. At least thus far. I'm not sure. I mean, there could be more adverts that would be much more out of pocket than what I just witnessed. At least as of now, as I'm recording this. That's wild. What are these people thinking? Why would someone promote such adverts like that? It is vile. It is disgusting. Of course, people could be talking about look to date someone that is in their 20s or 30s. I'm not going to argue with that. What I would argue is doing so with a minor. Everyone should know this by now. I don't know who wouldn't know this. They should at least know that such relationships between an adult and a minor, no. That is a massive no-no in my opinion. And certainly a massive no-no for a lot of people's opinions. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a lot of ranting about one advert on YouTube. I mean, it's absolutely questionable at best. Nonetheless, I think everyone knows that that's not the way to go in life, under any circumstance. And yeah, that's pretty much most of the stuff that me and, well, I can't say the lads have said anything. That has been sent in our podcast group chat as of the last time I recorded a podcast episode. With that all being said, let's get right into the rest of the news. Prince William and Kate Middleton introduced adorable new family member. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean new family member? I had no. Okay, Now, before I get into my surprise reaction, I'll have to read the brief of what that story is about. On Friday, May 1st, 2026, Prince William and Kate Middleton announced their new dog's name is Otto via Instagram, marking the pet's first birthday celebration. Otto is the offspring of Orla, the family's black Cocker Spaniel, who gave birth to 4 puppies last May. The couple adopted Orla in 2020 after the unexpected death of their first dog, Lupo. The household includes the couple's 3 children, Prince George, 12, Princess Charlotte, 11, and Prince Louis, 7, who appear together in official family photographs with their parents and pets. Earlier this week, William and Kate celebrated their 15th wedding anniversary by sharing a family snapshot showing them relaxing in the grass with their children. This edition continues the tradition of royal pet ownership, echoing Queen Elizabeth II, who owned over 30 corgis during her 70-year reign and received her first pup, Susan, on her 18th birthday. Now, when I first read this headline, I thought Kate Middleton was pregnant with another child. That's at least what I thought at first initially, and then after reading, okay, they're talking about one of their pets. Okay, that makes sense. I understand the context now. Now, that's a funny misunderstanding. But again, actually no, that is that's quite a hilarious misunderstanding. Anyway, I've said it. I said it. I said enough already. So, uh, about the dog, um, I can't say no much about it because, well, it's only 1 year old and it's not often I hear about. It's not often I hear much about the royal family. It's nice to see that they are celebrating the birthday of their pets. Now, sure, I know other pet owners do the same. Nonetheless, it's nice that there's some appreciation for dogs, cats, parrots, ferrets, some kind of amphibian or reptile kind of pets, or whatever people have pets as these days. And yeah, that's all that I know or have to say. Good for the royal family and their pets. They get to live for another year. I mean, they should. It'd be a shame if something bad happened to them. And I'm not saying that anything should happen to them. It is nice to hear the growing of our pets, and we cherish them for as long as they shall live. Okay, I've already said what I had to say, and go on to the next story. Berkshire Hathaway's profits double as shareholders gather for the annual meeting on Saturday. Berkshire Hathaway shareholders gathered in Omaha, Nebraska, the CEO, Greg Abel's first annual meeting, where the conglomerate reported a 17% jump in operation earnings to $11.3 billion for the first quarter. Berkshire's cash pile swelled to a record $997.4 billion, reflecting the conglomerate's status as a net seller of stocks for the 14th consecutive quarter as Abel took the helm. Underwriting profit climbed 28.5% to about $1.7 billion, while Berkshire repurchased $235 million of stock in the first quarter, signaling resumed investment activity. Berkshire shares have dropped nearly 6% in 2026, while the S&P 500 have climbed more than 5% year to date, highlighting the stock's underperformance despite strong earnings growth. The 95-year-old Warren Buffett observed from the audience as Abel navigated investor questions about the conglomerate's sluggish business units and the challenges of the leadership transition. I've heard about Warren Buffett announcing his retirement, and now Greg Abel is taking over for Berkshire Hathaway. And of course, it's not going to be easy in the first year of taking charge. It is a great start for Abel. Can't say I know much about him. I don't know much about most stuff in this world. Even I do have knowledge on particular subjects. My knowledge and what I know and whatnot is all over the place. So, what happens next with Berkshire Hathaway? Well, the will continue to do great in terms of profit margins. They will continue to generate and increase their profit margins, or at least make a profit year on year as time goes by. Not as much as the members of Congress with their knowledge of inside trading. It is a shock. And even though I've heard there's going to be a law passed in to prevent inside trading from ever happening again by people in Congress, only time will tell if that actually goes into fruition, comes into fruition. There's this law about preventing inside trading amongst congressmen and congresswomen is implemented and is effectively enforced to the best of their ability. England's once-in-a-generation housing law takes effect as US housing legislation hits in congressional purgatory on Friday, May 1st, 2026. The Renters' Rights Act took effect in England after receiving royal assent, banning no-fault Section 21 evictions that previously allowed landlords to remove tenants without cause. Parliament passed the once-in-a-generation reform after Section 21 evictions caused a 50% increase in homelessness from 2021 to 2022, with 70% of Britons citing housing unaffordability as a national crisis. The law limits rent increases to market price with at least 2 months' notice and restricts changes to once yearly, while creating a rental housing registry allowing tenants to research prospective landlords and properties. Local housing authorities can now levy fines against private landlords failing to meet new standards, while private rental properties must adhere to public housing requirements, including strict timelines for addressing mold and damp. While the United States remain gridlocked on housing reform, the US Supreme Court has reiterated that states maintain broad discretion to regulate landlord-tenant relationships, even as roughly 27% of Americans spend over half their income on rent. Well, I will say that to evict someone without a valid reason is certainly a valid issue that has to be mentioned. And whilst there is a rise in homelessness anywhere in the UK, I will say there has to be a hope. There must be at least one home that is available to be given to a homeless person. That I'm a firm believer of. And even if I do want to help out the homeless people, what can I do? And is there anyone that could do a better job of helping the homeless people than I could ever do? And also, and I know I keep referencing to Finland in regards to homelessness, that for every homeless person that's been given a home, governments save tens of thousands of pounds, euros, dollars, whatever currency by doing so, instead of having to spend millions on welfare, services, research, and other support for people on benefits or anyone with disadvantaged backgrounds or abilities. And I know that the UK is a small island. There isn't enough space to build new homes, if there are any space to build homes. There has to be smarter ways of utilizing whatever land that is available to not just facilitate new homes for existing residents in the UK, also utilize lands for businesses, offices, other high-end, high-paying sectors of any industry. Single-purpose buildings and facilities are becoming a thing of the past. Multi-purpose buildings are a thing for the future. It is a new way to build new homes and businesses having buildings that serve more than one purpose. That's where I see construction in general gearing towards, as there are existing construction projects going on somewhere in the world. At some point, there isn't going to be any land left, whether it be for living, a place to set up business, nor will it be enough land left that's viable for agriculture, growing food, herding the cattle, and the stockpile for produce coming from animals and whatnot. That's where we're heading, folks. Yes, there may be empty lands that could be used for farming, to build new homes, maybe a new shopping center. At some point, there won't be much empty land left. Then now what? Someone's going to have to find a way to utilize whatever land is available to the best of their ability, and utilize land the best they can. There isn't any empty lands left that could be used for whatever purpose that landowners want to use the land for. And that is it for the episode.